So, MapleStory, am I right? I do so many videos on it, and it's crazy. But today, on my birthday, I wanted to explain to you guys my little history about it, and how I came around to it, and why I love it so much. This is gonna be a long video. So, back in, when I was 10? No. Yeah. Around 10, maybe 9. But in that area, well, actually, let's start way back in 5, when I was 5 years old. When I was 5, I had an extreme interest in video games, particularly MMOs. My extreme interest came from my sister. She used to play VMK and Toontown a lot. And from that, I started playing VMK, which, if you guys don't know, is Virtual Magic Kingdom, and Toontown. From there, I played games such as Fusion Fall, VFK when VMK, came down, and actually MapleStory. And that may be weird to say, because I'm a kid at this point. I probably was 9, 10, and I'm 18 now, so it's only been 8 years or so. Yeah. And from the assortment of games, I mentioned Fusion Fall, Toontown, and BMK/VFK, which is Virtual Family Kingdom. Long story. They're all very childish. Well, not childish. One deals with cartoons, the other one deals with you're literally a cartoon. Guess which one is which. And the other one is just you in the Magic Kingdom, and the other one is you in a similar fashion as the one in the Magic Kingdom. I don't know if VFK was about. Anyway, MapleStory seems very, very out of that circle. Now, I think it's good to mention that during this point, I was just getting into anime. I watched Pokemon my whole life. I watched Sailor Moon part of my life. I actually binge watched Sailor Moon for a few days in 6th grade, which is around the time I got into MapleStory. But it was when VMK was closing down, so I guess 4th grade into 5th, I found my sister was playing a game, and it was really weird. I saw it over her shoulder, and I was like, hey, what is that? And she's like, oh, this is a game called MapleStory. I was like, huh. And I went and looked it up. I did not regret anything. So when I first looked it up, I remember being very, okay with the game. And then I saw him. Now, this is a love story, so don't expect a romantic, something sappy. But I saw the first character that came up was a boy/girl. Well, first it was a boy/girl named Aaron, but it was a boy/girl named Evan. I don't know why I picked Evan. He looked, /she, I'm just gonna call him he because canonically it's a guy. He looked really cool to me. And honestly, I didn't even know there was the dragon involved. I just looked as a character. I can tell right away that he was a mage, and I really like mage classes. I also really like fire classes, so he looked like a person who uses fire types, which I'm not technically wrong. Technically, Mara did have a fire type back then, so fire skill back then, so I'm not technically wrong. But I guess what drew me in the most was the character design of Evan. I didn't even read the description or the difficulty or the level stats that they have. I just went straight into it. Mind you, Evan is the hardest difficulty in one of the hardest difficulty classes. Granted, I didn't have the best time, but that wasn't the case. Well, yeah, it was the case, but it was I didn't have the best time, but the story was really good that I kept on going. Now, you guys might laugh at me, but this is one of the reasons why I love MapleStory. It's because the story keeps on drawing me in. By this point, when I'm talking, in my story of how I played Maple, like why, and my experience with it, Freud never existed. And I'm very disappointed in Nexon for doing that. But you can't, like, win them all. What other characters I remembered being in there was... I remember the Cygnus Knights. I remember the Resistance. I don't recall... Was Dual Blade a thing? I don't know if Dual Blade was a thing. I just remember I don't even know if the Resistance were a thing. Were the Resistance? Yeah, because I had Wild Hunter. Did I have Wild? Yeah. Because then... Yeah, the Wild Hunter was a thing back then, was it? I don't even remember. All I remember was the Cygnus Knights, the Explorers, maybe the Resistance for some reason, and Evan and Aaron. So not that many characters. And honestly, I stopped playing Evan for a while, and I went to the Cygnus Knights, and I got scared of all. Okay, so the thing about the Cygnus Knights, they didn't have that beginning area where you're introduced to like Hawkeye, Eckhart, and Minhal, and like all that. Well, since I'm naming all the Oz and Irina, I got terrified for some reason of Minhal, Hawkeye, and Eckhart. I don't know why. They're not scary now that I look at them, and now that I'm a adult technically, they're not that scary. As a child, I got terrified of them, especially Eckhart and Hawkeye for some reason. That Minhal was cool. I just didn't pick him because I knew he was a warrior type, and I'm like, nah. Even as a child, I did not like warriors. I was like, no, you stay over there. So every time I played Cygnus Knights, I would make a new character, and each time I picked Oz because I wanted to play Irina, but every time I say that, I always go for Oz. I'm just like, why? And then I remembered, oh yeah, she's a fire mage, and she's cute and adorable, and my favorite color. I was a simple-minded child. Now, I still haven't played Irina's class, but I played Hawkeye's, so I'm improving. No, okay, good to know. Anyway, so that happened. I made a bunch of the different classes, not different classes, but like I made the classes, and the rest is history. I got obsessed with the game, right, and have been playing ever since. Not actually. As I probably mentioned before, there was a time where I just stopped playing. The reason for that being is I was a child back then, and children don't have the best memories. I kept on forgetting my password and my email. So I would never know like what my password email was. It got to the point where I made a new account, which is the account you see now, playing. And I made my new Evan, which I got the farthest in. I just reached level 200 the day I'm recording this. And honestly, I think I revisited my old account, and it got deleted. Like most of the characters aren't like there, and I got really sad. And even though this Evan isn't my original one, I still claim it to be because it's the only Evan I have there. And it's important to me now because I still made it before the revamp happened, and B, it's the only Evan that stuck by me when I kept on like flaking on MapleStory. MapleStory isn't a fun game if you play it by yourself. Soon the story will drag on, and it won't, like, not drag on, but it will taper off and you won't see it again for a while. And that's not good if you're into story like I am. So having now have Cass along with me for the ride and so many other people, it's nice to have your own story. And what I mean by that is every character may have the same class, but you experience different stories. And that's the thing I like most about MapleStory. I am a Nevin. Cass is a Luminous. Do we act the same as our characters implied? Not exactly. We may claim we do, but in practice we don't. Well, not in practice, but like in reality we don't. Cass is more like Eclipse than Luminous is like. Actually, what is Luminous's light side called? I don't even know. Probably Luminous because, like, you know. But she doesn't have the equilibrium that he has. I claim to be Evan, but I don't particularly have the same ideal set as him. A lot of his personality did affect my personality growing up because I did play the game as I said, and I loved the story. I fell in love with Evan at a really young age, and I was like, I want to be like him. But obviously, I don't have a dragon name, or that'd be cool. But like, I do relate to him in the sense that it's hard to fill in to someone that you know you can't. But I always say to myself, don't be like them. If you can't physically like become them, don't try. Be yourself. And so I stand by that rule a lot. Evan is trying so hard to be like Freud that he kind of forgets that he isn't. Yeah, they look alike. Yeah, everyone in the fandom thinks that they're the same person, but they're not. I don't know how Freud was. I literally, when I started playing again a few years back, I was introduced to Freud. And I was like, who are you? And why do you look like Evan? And that's the only thing. They look alike. That's it. Their personalities are different. And it's sad for me to see that a lot of people in the fandom treat them as the same person because, oh, they're the Dragon Masters and they look the same, so they must be the same person. No, not really. Freud is Freud, Evan is Evan. Just like you treat Eclipse and Luminous as two different people sometimes. I physically looked to the side like. It's also the same. Actually, I was going to reference Alpha and Beta, but they're literally the same person. Just different personalities of the one person. So that's not really a good idea. But overall, my experience with MapleStory is a good one, and it's full with nostalgia and memories that even though I can't experience anymore because they updated a lot of it, it's still nice. But I just wish more people played it for, like, not to the extent of, like, everyone needs to play it and it's becoming a new trend, but, like, to play it as a game and appreciate it as if they were appreciating a well thought out RPG. And I know this is the MMO, and I know a lot of people will be like, this is just an MMO, you don't need to take it so seriously. Well, people take Mystic Messenger seriously. Why can't you just, take this MMO as serious as any game that has a good story?